If you've been hearing all the hype about apple cider vinegar and wondering whether it's just another internet fad or if there's actually something powerful behind it, then stick around because this is where we're going to strip away the myths, break down the real science, and uncover exactly why so many people swear by it. You might have heard it's packed with nutrients and vitamins, and while that sounds great, the truth might surprise you. It's not actually loaded with vitamin A. It's not overflowing with vitamin C. And it's not some mineral powerhouse like people imagine. But here's where things get really interesting. Because what apple cider vinegar lacks in traditional vitamins, it makes up for with something far more impactful: acetic acid. That's right, a single, simple acid that can have a ripple effect across your entire body. Now, I know hearing the word acid might make you think of something harsh or dangerous, but when it comes to your health, this particular acid can be a game changer, and I'm going to explain exactly why. Over years of working with people and observing different health conditions, I've seen a pattern emerge that goes against what a lot of mainstream wellness advice tells you. People often talk about the body being too acidic, but in reality, most of the bodies I've tested are leaning the other way. They're actually too alkaline, especially in the blood. And here's the twist: your body has different pH levels in different areas. So when someone says you're too acidic without specifying what they're talking about, urine, saliva, or blood, it's not a complete picture. Blood pH is the most important to look at, but it's tricky to measure accurately because as soon as you take blood out of the body, it changes, and testing it directly is expensive and impractical. That means we have to go by symptoms, and when you compare the symptoms of acidosis, too much acid, with alkalosis, too much alkaline, you might be shocked to see which ones match what you're experiencing. And here's where apple cider vinegar comes into play. By nudging the body's pH even slightly toward the right balance, it can unlock massive benefits. Why does this matter? Because pH influences mineral transport, enzyme activity, thyroid function, metabolism, and so much more. Acetic acid, with its very low pH of around 2.5, is close to the acidity of stomach acid, making it incredibly helpful for digestion. This is why many people take it for heartburn and acid reflux, which might sound counterintuitive until you realize that these issues often stem from the stomach being too alkaline, not too acidic. When the stomach is too alkaline, the valve at the top doesn't close properly, allowing acid to creep up and cause that burning sensation. Adding apple cider vinegar can actually help close that valve and stop the reflux. This becomes even more relevant as we age because our stomach acid tends to become less acidic over time, making it harder to digest protein and absorb minerals. Without enough acidity, minerals like calcium don't get absorbed properly and instead start depositing in the wrong places: soft tissue, joints, eyes, kidneys, leading to stiffness, arthritis, cataracts, kidney stones, gallstones, and other calcification problems. This condition, known as systemic alkalosis, is far more common than people realize. Another important factor is stress. High stress levels raise cortisol, and high cortisol pushes the body toward an alkaline state by causing you to lose acid, H+, through urine. This is where things get messy, because when the body loses acid, it disrupts calcium balance, leading to symptoms like muscle twitching, especially around the eyes, cramps, nerve pain, and migrating arthritis pain. Simply drinking apple cider vinegar can restore acidity, mobilize calcium, and make those symptoms vanish. Stress also depletes potassium, and since potassium loss can make you even more alkaline, it becomes a vicious cycle. By correcting the pH, apple cider vinegar helps the body retain potassium, which is why it can improve things like blood pressure, constipation, fatigue, and even irregular heartbeats. If you've ever wondered why apple cider vinegar seems to cure so many unrelated problems, it's because of this chain reaction. Fix the pH, stop potassium loss, and a lot of body systems start working better. Another thing to note is diet. High-protein diets like Atkins or strict keto produce a waste product called guanidine, which is highly alkaline. This buildup can cause stiffness, nerve pain, and arthritis-like symptoms. Apple cider vinegar helps flush it out, making it a perfect companion for those eating a lot of protein. It doesn't just stop there. It also boosts the immune system. People often take vitamin C for colds, but most commercial vitamin C is just ascorbic acid, which isn't the complete vitamin C complex and is often synthetic. What actually helps in those cases is the acidity itself, and apple cider vinegar delivers that acid in a natural, bioavailable way. If you feel a cold coming on, taking apple cider vinegar can support the immune system and help the body fight infections more effectively. Now, knowing all this is great, but how do you actually take it? One of my favorite ways is through a simple drink I make regularly, which not only supports digestion and pH balance, but also helps with weight management. I like to mix 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar with water before each meal. You can enhance it with lemon juice, which adds extra acidity and flavor, and even a splash of cranberry juice for additional health benefits, though if you have a slow metabolism, you might want to skip the cranberry. For an extra kick, I sometimes add ginger, either freshly grated or in extract form, which makes it a warming tonic that's great for circulation and inflammation. The key is consistency. Making this a regular habit can lead to noticeable improvements in digestion, energy levels, and overall health. If you try this before each meal for a few weeks, you might be surprised at how much lighter, more energized, and less bloated you feel. And remember, if you don't enjoy the taste, it could be a sign your body doesn't need it right now. But if you crave it and feel good afterward, that's your body telling you it's exactly what you need. This isn't about following a trend or jumping on a bandwagon. It's about understanding your body's chemistry and using a simple, time-tested remedy to bring it back into balance. Apple cider vinegar is not a miracle in a bottle, but it is a powerful tool when used correctly. And when you understand the science behind it, you can use it to support everything from digestion to joint health, immune function, and even mental clarity. So, before you dismiss it as just another health craze, consider that maybe the reason it's been used for centuries across so many cultures is that it works, simply, naturally, and effectively. Give it a fair try. Pay attention to how your body responds, and you might just discover that this humble kitchen ingredient can become one of the most valuable tools in your wellness routine.